Conservation Trust. I'm just going to give you a little bit of overview of conservation and how it works through tourism. Okay, we have two companies that are connected to the business, to the trust. You've always got to have somebody driving the passion. Okay, and Wilfred Tribble, that owns our businesses, started the Conservation Trust. So I'll give you some history on how it all works and fits together. But basically, we have an opportunity every day to be out on the boats and to use that time effectively. So what we do have is 4 marine biologists that are working for us. We have 2 on the shark boat and again 2 on the whale boat. I'll take you through the team a little bit later, but we try and give the customers a different experience. So when they come to us, we want them to walk away with a different appreciation of the animals in our area, and from that, help support our projects. We're based in Plain By. We work from the Great White House, where we have a restaurant, a curio shop, and offer a whole experience for our clients. We have 2 boats, the whale boat, our whale whisperer, where we have a really, really awesome crew. The 2 biologists on board that boat are Michelle Weissel and Katja Vinding-Peterson. And then in Shark Fever we have Oliver Joel and Alison Towner. So when we have our clients arrive, we give them an educational experience and teach them a little bit about what they are going to go out there and experience. Just to let you know, our motto is discover and protect. Okay, it's all about whatever we find out there and how can we better protect it. Both businesses are Fair Trade and Tourism certified. That means we adhere to certain principles from how we treat our staff, from fair wages, fair work, etc., to putting back into the environment, into conservation. And we have to be assessed every year on the work that we're doing and how much the businesses are actually putting back into conservation. And if you've walked around our tent, you would have seen by now some of the projects that we are involved in. And if you haven't, please go and have a look at our posters. Where the trust started is through the African Penguin Nesting Project. We started a project in 2006. Wilfred then founded the trust so that we could have an umbrella for where all our conservation projects could fall under. The Penguin Nesting Project, we've got quite a bit of information out there about it. It's on the website. The historical impacts that were affected the penguins were the guano scraping, meaning they don't have a breeding habitat, they don't have anywhere to burrow into and aren't protected from the elements or the predators. I am going to be speaking a little bit more on the penguin project a bit later if you are here. But we created we call it a unique housing project for penguins, and we're basically providing somewhere where the penguins can successfully fledge their chicks. So please do come along and listen to that a little bit later. But we started this in conjunction with Cape Nature. We have a memorandum of understanding with Cape Nature for Dyer Island. Dyer Island is about 8.5 kilometers out from Plain By, and it's the area where we work with our tourism boats. So logistically, we can support a lot of things through the boats that we have with our companies as well. We're also supporting Lauren Waller doing the penguin research. She's currently writing up her thesis. So she's been doing monitoring of the penguins and their condition and health, as well as how the nest project is working. You saw all the nests are numbered, so they're monitored with regards to whether they are being occupied and the success of the chicks. We're doing some current modifications on the houses themselves. As in with anything, you've got to keep seeing where we can improve it. And the project, we've been very lucky, and the project's been internationally recognized, and we have won awards for the project. And coupled with that, the Island Cruises actually won an award for First Choice Responsible Tourism. They were highly commended in 2006, and we have been long-listed this year, so we hope we'll get in there. But I think with all the work we're doing and the overview between the 2 companies, I think we have a really good chance to show that we're making a difference. Island Cruises has also been used as an example of a sustainable ecotourism business in university books and that, so it's really great that we're out there and promoting ourselves in that way. It's about making a difference when we're out there on the boats every day. We're very lucky we have some incredibly competent crew who embrace the ethos of the company, and this is Kira, who's been with us quite a few years. There's a couple of things we do. We work closely with the Mammal Research Institute. Ingrid Peters was here yesterday speaking on the feeding habits of the southern right whale, and what we do for her, we have a very exciting task, and in fact something that we identified was that there was whale feces out floating on the sea. It literally floats around, and she was doing a study on the feeding habits of the southern right whales, but up the west coast. They weren't sure they were feeding in these waters, but the evidence of the feces shows that they may be feeding. So we collect this feces sample for her, and then they analyze it to see what krill and what species are within those species. Very exciting job. We work very closely with the organization as well, Mammal Research Institute and Oceans and Coasts. When they're whale or dolphin stranding, we assist with sampling. We'll go and take measurements, we'll collect blubber and whale samples. You can see some of the last ones, we've done video clips of that on our website, where you can pick up some of the work we're doing. As much as we don't like to see the animals stranding, there seem to have been quite a few this year, it gives the biologists an incredible time to go and take samples and try and learn something more about these animals. And of course, just coupled with that, we do also take GPS positions of penguins, of different seabirds, things that we are studying that can help us build a bigger picture of this area. So every time we're out on whale whisperer or shark fever, we're recording information. We also belong to the South African Whale Disentanglement Network. There's just 3 people in our area that can do that. We work with Oceans and Coasts. So with special equipment, we can go out there and be involved should there be an entangled whale. Dolphin research, the last 3 years, has seen Isabelle Dupre from France come and do her research on the rather rare and humpback dolphin in the area. She too is busy putting her information together at the moment. So we'll see what results come out of that. She's also identified certain individuals that are within our area. We also assist Oceans and Coasts with seal research, logistically taking them onto the island, helping them with the work they need to do, reporting back. We have Steve Kirkman this afternoon who will be speaking a little bit more on seal research at 2 o'clock, if anyone's here. We also collect scat samples. The seals are quite a predator of the penguins as well, which are an endangered species. So we need to see whether there's any evidence of them feeding on our penguins. And of course what fish they are eating, what they do. Shark research, working on shark fever every day. This is Alison, she's our biologist, she's been on the boat nearly 4 years now, which means over this time we've built an incredible database of shark fin identification. The shark fin is a very unique fingerprint, and that's the way we identify our sharks that are in the area. We can actually tell which ones are coming back, some are quite distinctive, the others we need software to see if there's any relation. But this is the kind of work we started, okay, and from this has built a bigger vision of what more we can do with the sharks. There's a post at the back and on our website about the wound healing of the great white shark. Having been on the boat, there was a shark that was injured called Prop. It was cut right down to its vertebra, and this shark went on to heal miraculously within 10 months in fact, and we were able to document that because we were on sea every day. So we're using that time to record this kind of information. And Alison presented this at the International White Shark Symposium, which was held earlier this year. So now what we're doing, Alison's been involved with Shark Conservancy on the Zambezi shark tagging, and now what we are doing is we've just tagged, we're very excited, with the assistance of Oceans and Coasts, we've just tagged 2 sharks. The first was a 4.2 meter female, and our team was out there the other night tracking the shark. So it's a very, very exciting time. We're learning some amazing things about these animals, and this is all enabled through tourists that are visiting our business. If you see these blocks that we have here, similar to how we raise money and for the trust and for the conservation work, besides the money that comes and the assistance that comes through the businesses from supporting what we do, we sell these blocks of sea to tourists, we sell our penguin nests, and that helps us support our project and what we're doing. And tags, for example, for shark research cost up to 5,000 Rand. The loggers that are used on the penguins cost 25,000 Rand. So we've promised $15,000 this year to the penguins to learn where they are moving and what areas they're in with regards to what we need to do with protecting the fish around their areas. We also this year have now launched our dedicated research boat, which is very, very exciting. This is ideal for shark tagging and tracking, and this will be used in a couple of other projects that we have coming up. Michelle will be doing a project on the species and how around our island and the predation effects during summer, winter, And we have Kacho, who'll be doing a study on the southern right whales within our area as well, something that hasn't actually been done, considering the importance of the southern rights that are here breeding and calving in our waters. We also have a volunteer program through the businesses. So that went through the businesses. Now what we are doing is we're running an intern program where funding or any profits made on that intern program also come through to the trust. So again, that's an extra way of us creating income to make things work. And of course we need a whole infrastructure for that. We have a house for them, we promote the project, we have biologists that give them lectures. So this all happens at the Great White House and through the companies and through the trust. And we also act as the animal rescue center. So again, when our guys are out in the boat, should they witness any evidence of, we'll obviously pick up any rubbish in the sea, but should they see any seals that are entangled, any whales that are entangled, photographs are taken. If we can get out there to go and do the rescue, we'll do so. It's quite difficult sometimes to get to the seals, obviously, but it's good that we evidence this stuff because this is passed on to authorities, and then at least it helps us promote things like marine pollution, which is a serious issue. We also assist logistically, whether we have to sub-hire it out or whether we do it ourselves on our boats, but we'll assist people getting to and from the island, scientists, etc. We'll help support that. We also help at the end of each breeding season of the penguins. There's abandoned chicks when the parents go into molt, so we'll assist with the logistics with supporting getting the penguins back to Sandcob to get them fattened up for the next breeding season. And of course we have a shark bus that travels in and out every day bringing our clients so he can get the injured and oiled birds back to our facility in Cape Town, Sandcob. We also then have international conferences that we've hosted the last couple of years. We've had 2 penguin conferences, and this year saw us host the co-host with Mammal Research Institute, the first African Marine Mammal Conference. We're very lucky that we have a facility like the Great White House where we can do this thing, and with assistance of places like Counterby Tourism, where we can also host bigger conferences. We are able then to get all the scientists together, ecotourism partners, students, people talking, exchanging knowledge, and just working on where we can go from here. Marine education, from educating our clients. We want our clients to walk away with a different perspective of the great white shark versus the killer that was portrayed in Jaws. So we teach them a little bit more by having a biologist on board. We teach them more about those sharks and the appreciation of that animal. Environmental awareness, we just like the whale out here. We have also placed one into Kelders. We used ours last year at the Whale Festival. It's great to show the size, and it helps as a nice educational tool. This came off a film set. Looks quite real, but it ain't. And then other things we do, we had Sassy here this weekend. We've got Sassy brochures at the back to show people what fish to eat, and we promote that within our environment as well at the Great White House. Okay. And then also just the whole marine pollution. We've just launched the fishing line bin project in